Speaking for our Families Foundation, the nonprofit was pushing for an outdoor soccer stadium and training facility at the South Valley Regional Park on Wedge Parkway. In July 24, Washoe County Open Space and Regional Park Commission voted unanimously to reject the stadium proposal in the South Valley's Regional Park after significant community opposition. The residents are still concerned because the For Our Families Foundation can appeal the commission vote, and they worry this is not being appealed until after the general election. Why do residents worry? Commission Hill, Garcia, and Androlin will not go on the record if they will support this facility or not. They do not do the do-si-do around the issue because it hasn't been appealed. Now, I call that unkind and unsettling. Why not put residents, voters' minds at rest and let them know where you stand? A lot of these people who spoke at the CAT are elderly. Commission Hill speaks
Silence is fraud.
So she is okay treating elderly residents poorly, keeping them concerned and in the dark purposely. Hey folks, if you elect me in 26 to the District 3 Commission seat, I will be for the people by the people. I promise I will always be upfront and honest with you. As the 3 commissioners who are not on the record about the soccer stadium should be. Tomorrow, Commissioner Hill and Marcia Bigler have a citizen forum at the Sierra View Library at 4 p.m. at Town Hall. I urge all South Renos to attend and ask a whole lot of questions of Commissioner Hill. Thank you.
They're a ways away. My turn. Here, get a little closer for everybody. Good morning, Drew Rebar. For the record, please maintain my comments on the record. NRS 241. So we talked about last night, Mike. Anyways, I've been going to a lot of meetings here lately. A lot of people have been showing up. Recent CAB meeting, South Valley's Library. A lot of people there. A lot of people last night. Mike had a meeting with his constituents. 40 to 50 people showed up there. There's a lot of community interest in what's going on. And what I find, I don't know if you guys ever get emails from the people that watch my videos. They send me copies, they say they send to you, so I get a few of them. What I find is people just want to be heard. People want to know what's going on in their communities. People don't want to feel like they're taken advantage of. The way this county is running, there's some of you up there that are failing. Found out last night that some people down the road from us, the county recently renamed their street, but they didn't tell them that they renamed their street. Didn't give them any input. They just renamed the street. And it was rather suspicious. This is just one example of things were brought up. The street evidently had some covenants on it, and you couldn't make the street go through to another street because some covenants existed. And so the supposition was the county's just renaming the street, that way the covenants are gone. Why would the county do that to the people that live there? Unless somebody's gonna make some money? Some government employees corrupt? How come you guys represent all of these big builders instead of the constituents that live in your districts? So many questions. Yet, there's no answers from our government. There's 3 of you up there in the middle that consistently vote against the people and more for these huge construction companies and these huge projects. Then you got County Manager Eric Brown over there. I'm naming names, Alexis. Yes, I am. His wife doesn't get prosecuted
No
for
personal
driving.
attacks of our staff, sir.
I'm just
No
stating
personal
facts.
attacks. I'm happy to hear your criticism.
I'd like my time back. I'd like my time back.
Please continue on, no personal attacks.
My time, my manner, my place, my 3 minutes. Anyways, he recently either fired the Register of Voters. The statement was, she had some mental disorder. Why would you put out personal health information about one of your employees? Aren't there laws about that? Isn't that rather discriminatory? Mr. Edwards,
Isn't that an issue if you got the county manager putting that personal health
Please
information in
address the
employees?
full board, Mr. Reaver.
I'm talking to your attorney, goddammit.
No,
See, I can't-
please address the full board and do
I'll
not.
address who the hell I want.
Sir,
But there's a whole lot of people watching here
thank you
too,
very
so.
much,
peop-
ma'am.
See, people are still hearing me right here. Have a nice day, guys.
Good morning, fellow public servants. My name is Roger Edwards, 50-year resident of Washoe County, 37-year Air Force veteran. I got a bill the other day for some that stuff they talk about all the time diabetics have to take. I forgot the name of it. I got a bill for it, and after serving 37 years, I got a bill for one little vial. It was supposed to be 35 bucks. Mine was $58. Must be because I'm in the upper income bracket, I guess. Anyway, I also want to thank you guys. I got another late notice on my water recharge bill. It's been shut down for 8 years now. I have to keep training myself to say 8 years instead of 7 like I have for the last 7 years. Anyway, I'd like to comment about one of our previous speakers, Mr. Brooks, who I love his poems dearly. I'm so old I have to hire people to do my yard work. I tried to hire some people off the street, and they wouldn't work for $15 an hour, raking leaves. They wanted $20 an hour, or they left my truck in the middle of the street. You know, it's all about your attitude, folks. $15 an hour. I didn't make $15 a day when I first started working. Also, I'm a member of the North Valley CAB, and I've been on a cab continuously, more or less, since January of 2000. That's what you get when you get old. You've got some history to roll up. But I'd like to also comment that once again, the North Valley's cab meeting has been canceled. It's hard to argue that you're interested in public comment when you shut off public meetings.
That's right.
I mean, the cab is the closest to the communities of any group we have around here. And unless somebody's dead or dying, I can't see why we would cancel a meeting with 5 members. We have a chair and a vice chair. Somebody could run the meeting. It's like this board. You have a chair and you have a vice chair. Somebody could run the meeting if one of you were not here. So come on, folks, please look at that. North Valley CAB was canceled again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicholas St. John, followed by Michael Van Pelt.
All right, here we are again. Nicholas St. John, non-fictitious, non-corporate entity, a real living, breathing man. I have in my hand a document for a criminal complaint will be filed against Alexis Hill. So the charges are NRS Code 207.190 coercion. Number 1, it is unlawful for a person with the intent to compel another to do or abstain from doing an act which the other person has a right to do or abstain from doing. Paragraph C, 1C, attempt to intimidate the person by threats or force. Number 2, a person who violates the provisions of subsection 1 shall be punished. Paragraph A, where physical force or the immediate threat of physical force is used for a category B felony by imprisonment in the state prison for a minimum term of not less than 1 year and a maximum term of not more than 6 years, and may be further punished by a fine of not more than $5,000. There's more to this, but you'll have time to read it on your own. NRS Code 171.126, arrest by private person. A private person may arrest another, 1, for a public offense committed or attempted in the person's presence, when the person arrested has committed a felony, although not in the person's presence, and 3, which applies when a felony has been in fact committed and the private person has reasonable cause for believing the person arrested to have committed it. Alexis Hill, I place you under citizen's arrest. You're not to leave this meeting today. And I'm asking the sheriff to take you into custody.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Michael Van Pelt, followed by Cliff Nellis.
Interesting.
Morning. I've lived here 25 years, and a friend of mine travels worldwide, and he would live with me sometimes for a few months here and there. Over the last 20 years, I've got 3 or 4 different voting, you name it, as if these were all different people, and they're not. In fact, I was a registered Republican, I was a registered independent, and yet I've been here to the voter registrar and multiple times, and they say they're gonna correct it, and they don't do that. I was in there recently, and the simplest of questions, and they don't know. I also looked up the public statute on public records. I know what I read. I've been here several times to get the voting records, the actual raw data that comes right from the voting machines. No one seems to know. When I asked who the head of the computer department here was, they didn't say, nobody knows. When I made phone calls, nobody can help me. I got one name, nobody answers the phone. My background
Talk
is
to him.
computer science, telecommunications, and electrical engineering. I know a little bit. And yet, people here, over here at the registrar, they won't delete the records. There's literally, at my address, there's three voters. And my friend, he moved to Dallas 4 years ago. And I told him, and he says he sent it. As a matter of fact, DMV still sends me stuff with his name and his cars there. But for right now, I would just like to be able to look at the raw data for the voting for 2 years ago, as a matter of fact. No one will help me. When I asked the lady there, she had amnesia, and I just don't understand it. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Cliff Nellis, followed by Bruce Foster.
You should talk to Nicholas. He's got a bunch of data. I'm sorry?
I've got all your data.
Oh.
I can get it for you.
Oh. Okay.
Cliff Nellis, I would like to have my comments entered into the permanent record for NRS. We came here a few weeks ago and read this resolution, which you received a copy of, and I wanted to comment on that further. I'm not working for United Sovereign Americans, I'm just a volunteer, I want to make that clear. But I want you to realize how serious this matter is. It is not a light thing. Federal election law has certain requirements, and you guys are required to follow the federal election law when there is a federal office being run for. So we got the senator, congressman, and so on. And per these statistics, this data that they actually got from, the Secretary of State, it's their own data. There's a whole lot of problems, like 221,956 ineligible and uncertain registration violations in the state of Nevada. Now, they didn't have the breakdown for Washoe County. That takes more research and time, but they're gonna have that too. But But I'm sure a large number of that is in Washoe County also. And actually, one of that's just really amazing is there are 26,907 more votes counted than voters who actually voted. So 26,000 more, and then we know who those people are. There's no names attached. So there's some real problems here. And we were, in July 9th, you guys did the right thing. And you followed your conscience, because there are too many problems with the elections here. And look what happened. Carrie Ann Burgess quits, right? Oh, she had medical problems, whatever. This is a very incompetent organization. It needs to be fixed. We have no confidence in the elections. We're gonna ask for a hand count because we don't believe that the outcome of these computers, they're not machines, they're computers, is accurate. And if you remember Scooter Libby back in the Bush days, he had a Valerie plane, and they caught him what's called the perjury trap. So, you guys can be caught in the perjury trap too. Like your DA actually told you the right thing, Mr. Edwards, on July 9th, but then Mr. Candaris came along and told you the wrong thing. If you certify an election that's not certifiable, then you have committed perjury. And it's a very serious thing. It can mean jail time. So I just want to remind you guys of that. And I would like you to sign this. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you sign it or not, because they are probably going to court.
Thank you.
Bruce Foster, followed by Penny Brock.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Foster for the record. Please have mine talk on permanent record, and my pronoun is we the people. I wish to continue the narrative from Cliff and speak about trust. At the highest levels, my question is that in this room, how many of us trust in Washington, the DOJ? How many of us trust the Department of Homeland Security? How many of us trust the CIA, the FBI, the FDA? How about trusting this administration regarding the border? How about foreign policy? Now 2 wars going on. How about it here at our local level? Can we trust our Washoe County School District in educating our children when they have a plethora of pornography within the school libraries and all the violence that's going on? All the way down to the RPD regarding handling the homeless situation. I just wish to further clarify that I go to people that I trust and that are smarter than I am. Regarding the issues with the illegals here that are apparently in the Washoe County and the state of Nevada. And Elon Musk quoted, of course, in California, a new law bans California from requiring voters to show ID at the polls. If there's a Democratic Party in victory in the election, they will ban voter ID requirements nationwide, enabling massive voter fraud. Banning voter ID is their stated goal. They're not hiding it after that, your vote won't matter. And you can see, I don't see
We don't
it.
have the projector, I'm sorry. Could
Oh,
y'all
okay.
help me
Well,
with the
state
projector?
Nevada, now since 2021, the growth of illegal
There
aliens
we go.
has grown
Do you want to push it up a
734%.
bit, sir?
Or 562%, over close to 16,000. And then we go to the other issues where the resolution issue. So, people here, or there are county commissioners that have problem even on the first one, proof of citizenship. So that's where I go to all the individuals that are now in our country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Penny Brock, followed by Charles Elliott.
Overhead, please. Thank you. Penny Brock for the record. We are in an election crisis as we enter our election season. The elections manager disappears. The assistant elections department manager is nowhere to be found. George Guthrie is the out front person. How does he have that authority? We don't know. Then in August, we got the new state VREMS system, and the elections manager Burgess warned us at the time there would be bumps. Well, last night at the community meeting, we heard our voters talking about the bumps. They call the voter register office to make sure they're registered, and they're told they're too busy to check. This morning, I went on the Secretary of State's website to check, and what did it tell me? It's down for maintenance. How can this be? How can this be? Supposedly, the sample ballots went out October 2nd, but they will be mailed from Arizona because Runback, that is printing and mailing both the sample ballots and the mail-in ballots, are in charge. Why didn't you go with a local mail house in Sparks like you did with the presidential primary? We know there were problems with the June primary of people getting, their mail-in ballots came first and then the sample ballots arrived. We've got issues. How are you going to fix this? On next week, October 15th, 9 a.m. in the judicial court, the case involving our Carrie Ann Burgess voter register versus the voter rolls will be heard in judicial court. I assume the DA's office is going to represent Carrie Ann Burgess, but we don't know. That is going to be an interesting court case. We know that in May, PLIF out of Washington, D.C. also filed a case against her for the same issue, the voter rolls. That case has not yet been heard. So we're glad this case is going to be heard next week on the 15th, Second Judicial Court, 9 a.m. So the county commissioners are ultimately in charge of our election system. How can you guarantee us that we are going to get a fair, honest, secure, and transparent?
Charles
Thank you.
Elliott, followed by Janet Butcher.
Charles Elliott, please enter my comments in the record. Prior to reading a resolution that we hope will be put on the docket for the 22nd, I've just got a few comments that, again, I've been here for the last couple of years, never got involved before that. Stupid for doing that. I should have been involved with this when I was a teenager. Or it wouldn't have been this bad. You guys are the board, okay? I won't address any specific person. This board it's a shame. I mean, our country is really having a lot of issues, and it's primarily because of graft, greed, ego, you name it, and it's not for the constituents. We, the constituents, give you the jobs by electing you. But with this election and all the elections we've had, I don't know, we probably go way back, they're horrible. You guys can't keep a register of voters, you can't keep people working. It's been proven that there's all kinds of stuff that has been done incorrectly and criminally. It's amazing how you guys continue to get with, and it's just because of the news media that is not shedding light on this like they should. We've got a great journalism school up here, but it's not a journalism school, it's a propaganda school. We need to get journalists that are hungry to get the facts out, to find out what in the world is going on with our elections. But that's a small portion of our whole county, not just elections. It's a big one, because then we can get you guys out and get somebody in, but that goes without saying. Anyway, let me read the resolution that we'd love to have. Resolution of the Washoe County Republican Party. Now, I'm not speaking in behalf of them. They have not set me aside to say, go do this. I am doing this on my own. Whereas the administration of the elections in Washoe County over the past 2 elections cycles have been fraught with errors and excessive costs, including but not limited to names left off of ballots, incorrect ballot instructions, misprinted ballots, multiple ballots sent to the same address, mail-in ballots sent to voters who opted out of receiving them, failure to verify signatures, and the failure to promptly purge the voter rolls of ineligible voters, resulting in the unbudgeted expenditures and the loss of confidence in the public in the elections process. Therefore, be it resolved that the Washoe County Republican Party petitions the Board of County Commissioners, Washoe County, to abolish, and I'm out.
Thank you.
Janet Butcher, followed by Joni Hammond.
Good morning, Janet Butcher. Please enter my comments into the record. I'll ask verbatim, but therefore be it resolved that the Washoe County Republican Party petitions the Board of County Commission for Washoe County to abolish the position of Washoe County Registrar of Voters and return the administration of the elections to Washoe County Registrar of Voter, or to the Washoe County Clerk, with all the staff and resources currently assigned to the Registrar of Voters, as was the practice prior to 1973 and is the practice currently in 15 other Nevada counties. I believe you're all in possession of this, and it was asked that you will have it on since 10/15, October 15th has been canceled, another monthly meeting canceled, that you would have it on, put it on the agenda for October 22nd. I know that a lot of you remember the rest of the story. Well, I'd like to kind of start out and tell everybody, I grew up in a lower class environment in the Midwest. I had one pair of shoes I wore for church and for daily. I grew up in America. The person who states that they grew up in a middle-class environment grew up in Quebec, Canada, from the 4th grade until she graduated from high school, and that's Kamala Harris. I can understand when she says that her mother she was in high school when her mother managed to get a house. Same thing here. But we got our house in America, not in Quebec. So more on the rest of the story. I'm going to have this entered into the record because there's a lot of misinformation about question number 6. And as Kamala Harris stands out there and touts that if you have a miscarriage, you will not be taken care of. Well, I'm standing before you today, or if you go to the hospital and are having a problem, they're going to let you die. That's not true. A miscarriage is not the same as an abortion. And late-term abortion is definitely 100% murder. Thank you.
Thank you.
Johnny Hammond, and then we'll go to Incline Village.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. I'm Joni Hammond. We have a theme this morning. We're 11 days to early voting, 4 weeks from the general election day. Some say the most important election in modern history. What has been done at Washoe County elections since the primary? What happened to the 26,000 undelivered ballots that were returned to the ROV? Have the voter rolls been cleaned? How many dead people will vote in the general election? We may never know. We're now switching to a new system with iPads. Will they be faster? Will they work well? Will there be bumps? What is the backup plan? What if the electricity goes out? We wasted $90,000 in county funds in the primary. How much money will we waste during the general election? Another interim register of voters is gone. Are you sure we can run a fair, proper election? I'm very concerned about that, and you should be too, because you're in charge of it. Thank you.
Now we'll go to Incline Village, and we have Rick Steinberger. And while we're waiting for that, I do have an email to place on the record.
Can everyone hear me? Is the audio work?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Rick Steinberger. I'm a 25-year resident of Incline Village, and my background is in risk assessment and remediation. And I have a petition on change.org signed by 80 of my fellow Incline Village citizens asking the Washoe Board of County Commissioners to please begin looking into ways that you can separate e-bike and pedestrian traffic on our sidewalks. The slow signs that someone has had put up, stenciled on the sidewalk and next to them, over the summer, as near as I can tell, done absolutely nothing. The problem really is not that the e-bikes are going 10 to 20 miles an hour on the sidewalks. The problem is that the e-bikes themselves are on the sidewalks. So what I'm asking you is not to solve national politics, not to solve impossible problems, but to please commit to putting this item down as an item we will discuss at a future county meeting, and to please have as an action item looking into hiring a consultant who can advise you on available options for better separating e-bike and pedestrian traffic on our pretty narrow Incline Village sidewalks. I think if you do this, we will all be safer. We, meaning citizens of Washoe County that come to Incline Village to enjoy the lake and the hikes, and all of us who live here. So I'm hoping that you can commit to making this an item for discussion at a future county commissioner meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Madam Clerk. Per our agenda, we will take a break until 11 o'clock. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so that's the county commission meeting so far this morning. Not as eventful as the last couple, at least so far. Gonna do a couple lives today. Gonna go to a Charlie Kirk event, go watch that. And then to flip the coin, I'm gonna go to a Tim Walz event after that. So do one conservative event and one liberal event. And do those live and let everybody see what happens. So I appreciate you watching. I think I'm gonna get going here for the next little while, and I'll be back on about noon. So if you want to watch from me then, I appreciate it. Thank you.